excited to be in the East Central neighborhood today to talk about a proposal to reuse the building behind me that has been a very welcoming community asset and as the next great addition to the vibrancy of this wonderful neighborhood. I am joined today by Councilmember Michael Cathcart, Police Chief Craig Meidel, representatives of the East Central Neighborhood Council, members of the East Sprague Business Association, and other businesses and neighbors as well. So thank you all for being here. Today we're excited to announce a proposal to transform a place of connection, of resource and gathering into a space that would co-locate a police precinct and behavioral health services in this former East Central Library. This 6,000 square foot facility became available when Spokane Public Library and the Parks Department partnered to open up a new Liberty Park Library that is just a stone's throw from here. So today we're talking about leveraging the power of partnerships to bring new resources to this Spokane neighborhood, and we're really excited about it. In locating neighboring police resources here alongside behavioral health resources, we're proposing to take the best of other models that we have in the community right now, but to fit right here in East Central. We've spent many months listening to neighbors, hearing their thoughts and ideas about how this former library branch should be used. And those conversations have consistently come back to the community-oriented policing model that helps officers more proactively engage with the people that they serve and brings behavioral health resources for people to access in their very own neighborhood. So this proposal is based on three different elements. A collaboration between the Spokane Police Department and Frontier Behavioral Health to bring police and behavioral health resources to East Central. The addition of behavioral health and police resources built around the Northeast Community Center, and the relocation of the police precinct from a temporary space in a church that they have long ago outgrown to a permanent home that offers better community engagement. Community centers are places where people get to know each other and access resources at the neighborhood level. And this proposal allows officers to be better integrated into the neighborhood at a very proactive human level. The vacated library branch gives us the chance to do something new in the name of community in this neighborhood. Councilmember Cathcart has been very involved and a leader in this East Central neighborhood discussion. Along with his seatmate, he has championed a pilot neighborhood policing project in Northeast Spokane that could be adopted right here at this site. So I'd like to invite the council member to the podium right now to talk about his support for this proposal. As the council member comes to the podium, I'd also like to acknowledge and thank other council member Jonathan Bingle for his support of this concept as well. He had a conflict today and couldn't be here. So council member Cathcart.
Thank you, Mayor. The time for talking is over. Rising crime in our East Central neighborhood deserves a swift and immediate response. Today I'm calling for an end to discussions around potential uses for the old East Central Library facility behind us. We've heard from the community and we've gathered the necessary input. The time is now to rise to the occasion as my constituents and neighboring residents are demanding by investing in and co-locating a fully staffed police precinct and behavioral health provider in this facility. The city of Spokane has an obligation to keep our communities safe. I believe it is not only in the best interest of my constituents and all of those impacted by rising crime, but from the discussions I have had, our citizens are desperate for this added resource. Since December, I have been committed to participating in a public engagement process to identify the new users of this facility. However, I stipulated at that time that I didn't want to see that drag on for months and months, which it now has. Not to mention that the situation within this neighborhood has changed radically since that time. East Central has especially struggled since the camp protest moved into the middle of the neighborhood. This encampment has resulted in a massive 56% increase in reported criminal activity within a quarter-mile area. And it's only rippling further and further outward. This has left an immense burden on the residents, businesses, schools, and community organizations in the area. I have heard from dozens upon dozens of our businesses and their workers many who have been repeatedly and directly impacted. I have heard from community members who live in the neighborhood. I have heard from the neighborhood council. I've heard from the East Sprague Business Association, and I've heard from the leadership of the Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center. The desire for more law enforcement protection is nearly universal, and the calls for this precinct are loud. I have continued to call for the implementation of a neighborhood policing pilot program that would focus the Spokane Police Department on building positive relationships one contact at a time by being present, engaged, and visible in the community to address crime and improve the general well-being of residents and visitors in our neighborhoods. My focus has been on implementing this policing pilot in the Hilliard neighborhood. However, I believe it is now time to expand the scope of that to include East Central, and we even have an opportunity to equitably further expand into West Central as well. We have an incredible opportunity to address the needs of the neighborhood by siting this police precinct with a neighborhood policing program and co-locating a behavioral health clinic in this location. The coordination between the behavioral health provider and the police department will be a great amenity and a way to provide both the help as well as a safety reassurance to our community members. Neighborhood policing involves police officers working on foot and bike within our neighborhoods, building relationships and growing trust with community members, while providing a visible presence enabling officers to act as a deterrent and respond quicker when calls are made. Officers can work with the neighbors to identify and solve public safety issues to make the community safer. Neighborhood officers serve as a liaison between residents, neighborhood business owners, people experiencing homelessness, and patrol officers. This builds trust between SPD and community through familiarity with neighborhood issues and general relationship building. It is clear from the community outreach to date that residents of the East Central neighborhood want and deserve a police precinct located within the neighborhood. I will be supporting this position moving forward, and I'm committed to sponsoring any necessary legislation to implement. Thank you all. I will turn it over to Frida Gandy.
The MLK Center is very excited about this partnership. We would like to work collaboratively with the city and Excelsior to advance health equity by providing mental health services that are culturally responsive and ensures that everyone has a fair and just opportunity to be as healthy as possible. Our goal is to increase the number of mental health professionals of color and alleviate barriers to access. We also want to continue to build and strengthen a framework for implementing effective law enforcement responses for people who might have mental health needs, as well as address public safety needs of this community. I can't think of a better way to use this space. I am looking forward to addressing the gaps in services. I am looking forward to working with our police department to improve community relations and to also bring training and also partners together to address as many needs as we possibly can by providing as many services as we possibly can out of this location. Thank you. And now I'll turn it over to Randy, who is the president of the East Side Neighborhood Council.
Thank you, Frida. For over 10 years, the East Central Neighborhoods Police Precinct was in a temporary facility that was provided by a church in our neighborhood. Crime with our encampment here has trended increasing upward. Sorry, my apologies. Our crime has been trending upwards because of this encampment, and crime has been a focus of our neighborhood council for many years. I decided that we needed to step up as a neighborhood council and use our voice to communicate with the city and the mayor's office to do something about our current situations. The mayor did step up, and we are appreciative of her actions to pledge this facility to the police department and for mental health services. But this is just one step. We have so much more work to do. We've also been working very hard to integrate the different cultures in our neighborhood together, and we'll continue to engage with our community leaders to ensure that that is a continuing and evolving process. And we look forward to working with the mayor and council on this particular project and many more. So thank you very much, and I'll hand it over to Doug Trudeau with the East Spokane Business Association.
Thanks for inviting us today to be here. So, both the East Spokane Business Board and members endorse the use of this former library as a police precinct. The East Spokane neighborhood is experiencing a big increase in crime. Hopefully, this facility will help with response times, leading to a safer neighborhood for our residents, employees, and customers.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. Community policing has been a pillar of Spokane Police Department's service to the community for decades. We know that we must continue to evolve and grow in order to remain relevant within the community and follow best practices. Several years ago, we had the Spokane Police Department, every officer provided input on what should be the mission statement of the Spokane Police Department. So we put together a cross spectrum of the entire department, commissioned, non-commissioned, line level. They came up with this mission statement. This is not my mission statement. This is the mission statement that the department came up with, and they told me, we want this to be our mission statement. The Spokane Police Department is committed to providing excellence in policing, enhancing the safety and security of individuals, and building partnerships to better the lives of our community members as a whole. What is being proposed here to move into this facility is the next evolution of policing. We have our co-deployed teams, and it's staged out of the downtown precinct, where we have mental health professionals partnered with an officer riding in the car with him. We have our precincts assigned to the neighborhoods with the neighborhood resource officers staged as a hub out of those precincts. And we have our partnerships with the COPS volunteer programs as well. We want to place a neighborhood resource officer in a precinct in every neighborhood. This neighborhood is no different. This location provides a closer relationship with the community that we desperately want to connect with, and it allows us to form those partnerships as well. Co-locating the police department with mental health providers in the same building is the tip of the spear evolutionary policing. And this is something that we are very excited about. This location also allows us to form a partnership with the MLK Center, in addition to all the neighbors in this area and the businesses as well. It allows our officers to connect with the kiddos on virtually every single day and form those partnerships that we all want. Not only will this be a great addition to our community policing model as a partnership opportunity, but it gives us a location to move from the second floor of a nunnery into a building that is more accessible in partnership with mental health providers. And it also moves us to the front of the pack for progressive and evolutionary policing. With that, I'll turn it back over to Mayor Woodward for some final thoughts.
So thank you, Chief. I want to thank all the speakers who are here today. You can see the excitement for this potential to meet a neighborhood need and a very important department need as well. So we have spent several months on the engagement. We appreciate the neighbors' feedback to date. We are happy to see the neighbors who are here supporting this proposal. So thank you for taking time out of your busy day to support this. And we certainly are happy to hear additional thoughts. So if any of the media here has any questions for any of the speakers about this proposal, we're ready to take your questions.
What are some of the next steps, I guess, to making this happen?
That's a really good question. This will have to go through a process with the City Council. City Council will have final say on how this building is used.
You mentioned you're going to be partnering with Frontier. How was that decision made? Who made the choice as far as the partner goes?
Is there someone who can speak to actually, Frida, do you know?
Well, actually, Frontier is not the only provider we are looking at working with. Excelsior is also, because a lot of the families we share in common, and we want to make sure that those kiddos and families that also are already accessing services here at the MLK Center will have access to services here on site versus driving north We just want to alleviate those barriers. So we're looking at also working with Excelsior.
Was there like a vetting process done, I suppose? I didn't know if this needed to go through some sort of like bid or formal bid process to pick those people, or agencies rather.
Well, there's no bid process. We're just looking at who has the capacity to provide mental health professionals, who also has the capacity to have staff here located at this site and is willing to partner with us as an agency. Not every nonprofit has that ability or organization can do that. So we're looking for people that our families are already accessing services from, and is driving way outside of this neighborhood to do so. So those are some of the factors that play into who we're looking to work with.
Do you guys have a ballpark estimate for how soon this facility could be like moved into?
Well, my goal is to work with the mayor's office and have MLK's contract modified to include the library. We're already managing and operating the community center itself. So we're hoping that we're able to manage and operate the library as well, and also work with the community on providing those services out of this building, and putting together an agreement that would go forth to City Council.
In an ideal world, how large staffing-wise do you see? How many people occupying this facility?
Well, we're still working on that needs piece in terms of how the space will be laid out. We want to make sure that each provider, also the police department, have separate entrances. People are coming and going, and there is actual space that is not overlapping in the sense that people are winding up in areas that they shouldn't be. So we're trying to also look at how this space will be laid out for safety reasons for everyone that's accessing the building.
And maybe this is a question for Chief Meidel, but just is there statistical evidence that this level of community policing actually leads to a decrease in criminal activity?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, they're actually and you can find a study that will probably prove just about anything you want to prove, right? But the studies I've looked at have shown that a couple different things. One is having more visibility from law enforcement does show a decrease in crime in the area, right? Most people that are anticipating or looking to commit a crime, if they see a police officer or they know a police officer in the area, are less apt to engage in those kinds of activities. But that's only one prong of the, I think, the benefit of this location. The other benefit is it's an area that it allows easy access, not only for the neighbors, but it also allows us to really start connecting with a lot of the folks that visit the MLK Center, the Karl Maxey Center. So there's a number of different layers to this that provides a benefit. Crime reduction is one that we anticipate, but also improving those relationships, especially relationships with a community that has felt marginalized, has felt like they want more resources. They maybe haven't gotten all the resources that they've wanted. And one of our captains went around and talked to all of the neighbors that surround this facility as well. And they overwhelmingly told her that they absolutely would like to see a police precinct here as well. So what we anticipate is going to be multiple benefits from multiple levels.
Do you know how many officers will be dedicated to the precinct?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to have Captain Arleth is currently our South Precinct Captain. I'm going to have him speak to that.
So, I don't know the answer for how many would ultimately be assigned here, because right now we don't have the space to actually have all the people assigned to our precinct. So for starters, we'd have me, the lieutenant that helps me run crime control at the precinct, 3 neighborhood resource officers, including the one for East Central, but then also the ones for further on the south side, as well as going out west from Cannon Hill out to West Plains. We would all be here together, which we aren't currently because we don't have the space. And then currently we have 2 detectives. I think we've had some preliminary conversations at the department. If we had space and it was here, what else could we add here? So that's going to be things that are up to the chief and the executive staff as to whether we, move some of our outreach assets in here. Certainly outreach does a good job in this neighborhood. The Liberty Park Police Athletic League during the summertime is one of our most heavily attended events for PAL. So we'd like to have them here too. But, so I think with the square footage that we'd have, that would be open to, adding some resources ultimately. But for starters, we would just move the people from the precinct over here, which is a total of 7.
I'm just curious, where's the old church you guys are talking about that? Funny.
So actually, we're not in a church. We're in a church. It's a building at the church. So we're at St. Anne's Catholic Church over at 2100 East First. And so, I talk to people at some of these meetings and things, and they're like, South Precinct? I don't know you guys had a South Precinct. And they're like, well, it's a long story, right? So it's supposed to be temporary for 6 months, 6, 7, 8 years ago. But somehow, so we partner with cops, right? And then cops partners with Department of Corrections. So we're kind of all in the same facility. And cops, the nonprofit, Patrick Stryker. I don't know if Patrick's not here today, or anybody from cops. They found this office space to move into after they lost their former office space. So we are actually in the second floor of, I dug into the history of it a little bit. There actually used to be a school there in what's our empty parking lot. And the building we were in, our offices, believe it or not, are actually former nuns' bedrooms. They're stubbed out for a mirror and a sink, bathrooms down the hall, 2 outlets, whatever. So that's where we're at now. So the downside there is nobody can come. We're not even ADA compliant, right? We're on the second floor. There is no elevator or anything else. So even some of our cops volunteers over time have had to go elsewhere or quit because they can't make it up and down the stairs. They're retired, right? And so we can't even staff a front desk for somebody to just come by and go, hey, I'm having this problem, or I'm having that problem, or I want to check up on my report, or can you guys host our community meeting? And that's one of the advantages here is we will actually be able to have front desk time, even if it's with a cops volunteer, where somebody can come in and go, hey, I found these 2 bikes in the alley, or whatever, right? Just a face-to-face contact, or hey, can you have somebody call me about this abandoned car that somehow that question's been lost through crime check? The ability to have the face-to-face, and I think some of the initial hopes on our wish list at some point is to even have a community space here, right, of a meeting room. So, where you want to have even for Mr. McGlenn with the East Central Neighborhood Council or something, or even the East Sprague Business Association meetings, you can come in and host, a 30-person sort of classroom space. You could have crime prevention meetings or something on a Saturday. So there's a lot of uses, right here that would open that to that community interface.
Is the library itself in decent shape?
It is. Looks good from the outside, until you get inside. Looks like there's been. Doesn't seem to look like there's deferred maintenance of any kind that, as an organization, I would be concerned with, like for the community center itself. So it looks like it's in pretty decent shape.
Any other questions, members of the media?
Well, I have a quick statement. Thank you all for being here today. I appreciate this initiative around public safety. Nobody has issues against public safety. Nobody has issues against mental health. What we're concerned, and you could just take a look at this picture behind me. So, Rebuild East Central is a group of neighbors who are coming together to revitalize this neighborhood. They were not invited to this. It felt very staged, good words, but the other side was not invited. It feels like a continuation of what's happened before in this neighborhood. Something about us without us. Yes, we have issued a RFQ, a requirement for qualifications of anyone who is interested in this building to be used. We have had several submitted proposals. Some is a mental health center with other mental health entities. One is a cultural center. There's been 2 cultural centers that have been permitted. So I am asking, as we go forward, that this is a true community engagement of the people who actually live in this neighborhood. I say that because I live less than half a mile away. We have had community engagement on Thought Exchange. We know some of that did not go as well because it was, lack of a term, overwhelmed with comments that had nothing to do with the library. I say this was a place of learning. This is what the library was built for. Can we have a cop shop in here? Absolutely. Will the precinct be open 24/7? Can neighbors come and walk in and build relationships with the police? That's what we want. We want that in our neighborhood. We want them here. We want to be good community partners. But if you all do not allow us to have a voice in this process, it is about us without us. And that will be unacceptable. And as a council member, I will be in support of the community voice, whatever that be. But we need to truly have the community voice that has not all been heard here today. So, Curtis, did you have a question before I?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Sure, go for it.
First of all, I got to tell myself I need to get out more. Because I heard about this last night, first time. I was surprised. So, my question is, many of the speakers talked about partnership, relationships, celebration. You know, I got to tell you, I've been to funerals with more excitement than this. So what I'm getting at, the community doesn't seem to have any input in this decision. Like I said, I don't live far from here. I heard about it last night, so I wanted to come down and see exactly what was happening. And I don't get any warm fuzzies from this. So my question is, I know you partnered with MLK. Did we partner with the NAACP? Going once, going twice?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, did we partner with, what's that other group? Carl Maxey Center. Did we partner with Carl Maxey Center? I say we didn't. So what does that tell you about our community and trust and building trust as a community? I think what we need to do is start talking to the people in the community and let them be a part of your decision making. So I'm out. That's all I got to say. Thank you for your time.
We as a community of color, we need to stop this divisiveness. We need to stop this nonsense in our own community and find a way to work together, whether it's NAACP, MLK Center, Carl Maxey Center. This right here, this divisiveness needs to end. I will not be a part of it. And it's not like there hasn't been neighborhood input. Half the people that are calling out these names don't even live in this neighborhood. What you need to do is listen to the people that live and work here on a consistent basis. I also have other people's kids here who have entrusted me with them. And it is my job to keep them safe when a man shows up with a machete or any other weapon trying to get in this building to people of color. We need to stop. This is not what this is about today. There are needs in our community that need to be met. And to sit here and say there's been proposals for a cultural center, you're looking at one across the parking lot. Work with the people in that building if you want to address cultural needs. Because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of fighting to do good work in this community. It needs to come to an end. We need to figure out as a community how we work together. I know your press conference went off on the rails, but I'm sorry. Because this is dumb. This is ridiculous. Our kids and vulnerable people in this community need us. If we say we're going to represent them, then let's represent them and help meet their needs. Because I'm done.
Thank you, Frida. And for all those who are clapping, this is not about divisiveness. This neighborhood has changed the demographics. The cultural center was HBPA. There are more Hispanics that live in this neighborhood than black people right now. And to say that we don't want them as part of this, boy, that made me feel like we're not an inclusive community. I mean, that struck me to the core. And nobody's trying to divide anybody. What I said at the beginning, we all want public safety. We all want mental health. We do want transparency, and we do want inclusiveness. Frida asked the question, do y'all all live in this neighborhood?
I do. Yep. For 30 years.
For 30 years.
We work in the neighborhood.
You work in the neighborhood. Do you live? You can come in and go out. Do you live in the neighborhood? That was the only.
You've got the neighborhood council here.
Yeah, neighborhood council.
You've got the businesses here.
And we talked to They come in and work.
Some, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I live in a neighborhood. Again, we're not trying to divide the black community or any community of color. We are asking that our voice be heard. As this neighborhood grows and evolves, nothing about us without us. That is not an unreasonable request. Thank you.
So thank you for coming. If you got
Thank you.
individual questions.